Sabrina Phillips said, "When I arrived in Bali, I got my first online gig writing social media posts for $12 an hour. My first month, I made $5,000 by doing social media management." What? Hey guys, welcome back to another video. It's Gerald here. So can you make $5,000 online? Absolutely. Can you make it within your first month? So let's just take a look at Sabrina's post. She said that she made $12 an hour, and if she worked 8 hours a day, 25 days a month, that makes up about $2,400 an hour. So does she work 16 hours a day or 13 hours for every single day, or she makes $25 an hour? I don't know, but can it be done? Absolutely. Within your first month, maybe not so easy to get the kind of quantity of jobs to hit that $5,000. So in this video, I'm going to be talking about 15 ways you can make money online. I'm talking about actual jobs with career progression, and I'm going to add in some of my experience with some of the people that I've worked with or some of the jobs I have personally done myself. After which, I'm going to end off by sharing with you some of the platforms that are really popular where you can find these jobs and get them. Alright, so let's begin. If you're a student and you're based in a country that's like Singapore, where education is so important and every single parent or most parents are very obsessed with getting tuition for their children, then my go-to online job would definitely be online tutoring. Why? First of all is you get to revise on what you've learned, and it really helps if you're still studying right now, like if you're a student that's going to pursue like a degree, because by having the ability to explain the things that you know in very simple terms, it helps you refine your knowledge and really understand. So when you're able to understand and present complex ideas in a simple manner, it's going to help you out a lot when you're in like business school, where you have to present your ideas to people, have to write essays to explain yourself. Secondly, it builds on your existing strength because you've been studying for years. So this essentially helps you earn a lot more than if you were to do jobs that you're completely not skilled in, right? So that's the second point. And last but not least, it helps you build valuable network. Like for me, I got my first mentor who's a manager in IBM through sports coaching. So I was teaching people badminton, and that's how I met my first mentor. So this can definitely help you out because the kids may have parents that are very powerful, influential, and they may be willing to guide you to help you out in your career choices, opportunities, internships. And if you're looking for places where you can find such opportunities, just do a Google search, online tuition, your country, in this case, online tuition Singapore. You're going to be able to find a dozen different companies that's going to help you find tuition jobs. But then some of you might be asking, "Hey Gerald, I am not a student, or I just graduated. I'm a work from home mom, I'm a dad, trying to look for jobs during the coronavirus crisis, so what can I do? I don't think I want to do online tuition." So now the question is, what kind of opportunities can I find online? Are there any other online jobs? There are plenty of other online jobs. I'm going to categorize them into 3 big buckets, and that makes it a lot easier for you to kind of see what areas you are good at, what areas you're interested in, for you to dive deep into which specific types of jobs you would want to try. Alright, so the first category will be like the business, management, marketing related kind of jobs, and the second one will be the creative kind of jobs like designing, blah blah blah, which I'll talk more later. And the last but not least is like those technical jobs like coding, programming, things of that sort. Let's start off with the business, management, marketing kind of jobs, and the first thing is social media marketing manager. There's a ton of social media platforms: your YouTube, which is what we're on right now, your Instagram, your Facebook, your Twitter, your Pinterest, and the list goes on, TikTok, lots of it. So the thing is that a lot of companies are present in these social media platforms. So what do they need? Someone to manage their social media handles, such as promotions, sponsorships. They also need people to help them manage the posting, like tweets, your Pinterest post, etc. So there are a lot of opportunities if you want to find jobs in this field. And the next opportunity I'm going to talk about is your launch strategist or your event planning kind of job. So basically, there are a lot of internet marketers that are trying to run campaigns. So when they run campaigns, they need a launch manager to kind of project manage their social media marketing campaigns or their launch campaign. This is essentially like events planning, where you need to plan out the timeline, the drip information to their subscribers, how to warm them up for the sale, for the closing, etc. So this for this kind of jobs, people are willing to pay you good money, but at the same time, there are a lot of people, especially internet marketers, because they're good at internet marketing, right? What they'll do is that they'll try to tell you, I'm offering a 3-month mentorship program. You can, come under my wing as a mentee, work for free, or work and gain experience for free, and they will basically make you become their launch strategies for free. I mean, it's okay to start off working for free for a professional, like to help them with their launch campaign, if you feel that you will learn skill set. But bear in mind, like beyond 3 months, 6 months, once you learn enough skill set, in fact I wouldn't even say like 6 months, 3 months, beyond that you should be asking for a salary, and instead of just working for free. So make sure you do not get scammed, because I heard of a lot of such things in Singapore. So that's why I hope none of you guys fall prey to such a thing. And the third idea in the business category, or my fourth idea, is to be an affiliate manager. There are a lot of companies out there that are running affiliate programs, and they need a lot of help. What kind of help? First is to find and recruit new affiliates. Second is to police them and to make sure that the affiliates are running the program properly, they're following the rule, and they're being educated and trained to be able to market and sell effectively. And my fifth recommendation is business consulting. If you're a student and you are involved in consulting strategy, and you are in a lot of these consulting clubs, you would have developed several frameworks like your SWOT analysis, your 5 Porters analysis, and gain some sort of experience to consult for clients, whether is it for non-profit, etc. These can be done online. So that's why if you sell yourself online, you can find a lot of opportunities, projects, consulting projects. And of course, if you're just starting out, you probably charge a little bit cheaper, but it is very viable, and there are a lot of businesses that are looking for consultancy services online. But some of you might ask, Gerald, wait, I'm not business trained, marketing trained, I'm not very good in strategy, consulting. I prefer to do something a little bit more creative. Don't worry, I got you covered, so stay tuned. So while the previous 4 ideas I mentioned are business related, online jobs are fundamentally and drastically different from online businesses. So that's why I don't recommend things such as starting a new YouTube channel in this post, because jobs are fundamentally a lot more stable, in which you're kind of guaranteed a fixed pay. But on the other hand, if you want to make big money online and you're willing to hustle it out, then I highly encourage you to check out my online business video and tips over here before we continue. And my personal recommendation is to not immediately jump the gun and start businesses, because you're going to be underpaid for a very long time. In fact, I would highly recommend getting a job, even if it's an online job, in the field that you're interested in. So work for a period of time, build up the key skill sets, and then eventually work on the business on the side while you're getting income in. Because it is absolutely not necessary for you to do either or. You can only be a business person and not work a part-time job. That is not true at all. So in fact, I would highly recommend for you to secure the cash first, where you're getting income, and then build your business on the side. So you get a fixed income here. Once your business reaches this point, you know what? Scrap this, double down on your business. So now let's move on to the creative side of things. If you want to do a creative kind of job, it is so important that you specialize. You must create a portfolio and become an expert in the field so that you can sell your services for a premium fee. Why is this so important? Because in the creative field, it is very competitive. So you need to specialize in a very specific categories, and I'm going to give you some examples later. Fifth idea I have is writing online. So there are a lot of subcategories. The first one will be copywriting, where you're helping businesses to write sales pitches. And the second would be like academic writing, which basically involves a lot of researching and then writing in an academic manner to help researchers. And the last is creative writing, where you need to write a story, maybe even script writing. So these are subcategories, and it pays for you to specialize in one of these. And the next is graphic design. So graphic design, again, it is extremely broad. I think one of the first few questions you need to ask yourself is, what tools or software do you know? And if you're completely new, there are several broad categories online. The first would be the marketing and advertising kind of graphic design, your logo, your branding. The next would be like your motion graphic, your 3D animation. And the last but not least is packaging graphic design, where you're helping businesses design the package of their products, be it their ebooks, their physical products. And I noticed, especially on Upwork, packaging designers do get paid quite well. So opportunity number 7 is video editing. Every single minute, tons and tons of videos are being posted to YouTube, Facebook and Instagram, and you can bet these companies, YouTubers, businesses, they are looking for video editors. So if you can edit videos, build a portfolio, and I can guarantee you that you're going to find a lot of opportunities online. Why? Because I myself have hired a lot of video editors to help me in my YouTube videos in this channel as well as my other channel. So trust me, people will pay good amount of money if you can edit videos well and you are relatively smart. Key question to ask is, what video editing tools are you familiar with? What is your portfolio? Again, portfolio, so important. And you'll be surprised if you think that video editors don't get paid a lot. Actually, there are a lot of video editors that make a lot of money. If you get into a high production budget kind of films, you actually can make a very, very decent online living. Opportunity number 8, with video editing almost always comes photo editing, because people need thumbnails, people need their Instagram posts, and they will need people to help them edit their photos, adjust the lighting, because I can't color grade to save my own life, and I need people to help me with that. Opportunity number 9, web design. So web design can start from something very simple, such as like using like a drag and drop builder on Wix, or personally I prefer WordPress. You use Elementor, which is a drag and drop builder within WordPress. So that's my preference. It can start from something that simple, and it can also progress to something that's really complex, such as something that's completely coded from scratch. And then, so that really depends on your technical competencies and your ability to sell yourself as a web design. But wait, some of you might be asking, Gerald, you haven't really gave any advice on how to get the jobs and how much do you get paid for these kind of jobs. So the thing is that these kind of jobs are very subjective, and if you're new to this, if you charge a fair rate, let's say $25 an hour, then you may not be getting a lot of jobs. So sometimes it might even make sense for you to reduce your pay in order to build up the initial base of clients, build up your portfolio, and on the other end of the spectrum, once you get a lot more experience, you're able to serve big clients like your Coca-Cola or companies that are like those. Then you can be asking as high as $200 an hour, $500 an hour. So what pay can you expect? Then my question to you would be, what portfolio do you have? Alright, so with regards to tips on how to find jobs, job opportunities, how do you stand out amongst the competition, I'm going to leave that till the end, because first I'm going to cover technical kind of jobs that are available. Because some of you might ask, Gerald, I'm not a creative, neither am I someone that's very involved in business, so what can I do? So this is my third category, which is jobs for people that are technically savvy. So the first is definitely software testing. So software testing is a very interesting field within the software programming kind of field, because among all the technical jobs that I'm about to recommend, software testing is probably relatively quicker to learn, to pick up, and it is also in a lot of demand. Why? Because there are a lot of people that are trying to learn programming. Everyone flocks to software development. They want to build software, build. But the problem with building software is that there are going to be a lot of bugs and mistakes, right? So as they build bigger and more powerful apps, ironically, they're going to need a lot more testers, people that can find problems, gaps in the system, and that's when software testers comes in.
We have a simple message for all countries: test, test, test.
And interestingly, a lot of people think that being a software tester, you don't quite have a career progression. First off, people don't even know that such a job exists. So I'm telling you guys, it exists. And secondly, people don't think there's a career progression. They think like, oh, it's kind of the same as doing like survey, right? No, it is very different. Software testing is a viable career in which there is a very clear progression. You start off as a junior and then you become a senior tester. You can even become a test manager, and you can also evolve and become something like a business analyst. Yes, that's how good an opportunity being a software tester is. And software testing is only going to become more and more in demand as more software is being developed, AI is being created and developed, and more people are turning online. My 11th recommendation is software development. Yes, I mentioned that before, it's competitive, but It's competitive because there are a lot of opportunities, and that's why, because there are a lot of opportunities to make money, a lot of people will flock into this field and try to take a piece of the pie. So key questions to ask if you're a software developer is, what programming languages do you want to, or do you know how to do? What stacks are you good at? Are you a front-end developer where you design like the website's look and feel, the buttons, the designs? Or are you more of the back-end kind of person where you're handling the servers, the database? And again, it also goes back to your portfolio. What have you created? What have you done? And the good thing about software development and software testing is that all of these things, even graphic design, those are creative things, is that all of these things can be learned online. If you go to Udemy, you go to Coursera, you go to YouTube, you can actually learn all these things. You don't actually have to pay top dollar to go into like a boot camp, things of that sort. I think for software, one of the best places that you can learn is freecodecamp.com. I think that's how you spell it. I'm going to leave the link right here so that you can go check it out. It's a free resource that can help you learn in about 3 months or less if you do it full-time, a bit longer if you're going to do it part-time. And I've heard of people that picked up software development in one month, and he recorded the entire process. So that's crazy, but very doable. So my 12th recommendation is to be a project manager. So project manager, why do I put it under like a technical field instead of a business field? Well, because if you want to project manage like product development, be it a physical product or software product, first is you can do it online. That's definitely doable. Secondly is, chances are you're going to need some form of technical expertise. So it is a lot easier to pick up project management if you have some sort of technical background and you happen to be good with people. So that's kind of like a progression, but a separate field where you need to manage a lot more business function apart from just the software development or product development. You also need to manage like the finance, the timeline to help the business achieve its objectives. So project managers get paid very well, but it's a very time intensive job, so it can be very stressful, but they pay very well online. It's a very viable career. So if you're wondering if you want to be a project manager, you can go and check out if you have the personality fit. How can you work to become a project manager online? And then some of you might be asking, Gerald, this looks like a ton of work. It's so difficult. Yeah, that's why they pay you good amount of money. And that's why it's a viable career progression, because it's tough. If it's easy, then chances are you won't be paid a lot because there are going to be a lot of people queuing up for the job, or it's difficult to get it. Alright, so I will be sharing with you some of the easy, quick cash kind of ideas that have worked for me and why I don't recommend. But before we continue, I'd like to share with you that I spent more than 10 hours to research, to plan, to edit, and to film this video. And all I'm asking is that if you found this video helpful, please spend 10 seconds to hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, because that's how I'm rewarded. Thank you for your time. Now I'm going to be talking about the general online kind of jobs that I don't recommend, and there are several reasons why I don't recommend them. So the first is general virtual assistant. And the reason why I don't really recommend you becoming a general virtual assistant is because you're not really developing any key skill set. You're not really becoming an expert in any way. So if you're not really becoming an expert, that makes you highly replaceable, and that means that if more people come into the field, you are subjected to being paid a lot less, because if you're not any special from the other guy that is asking half your pay, why should I choose you over them? Loyalty? Dangerous. So that's why I highly recommend for you to specialize and build a key portfolio, even as a virtual assistant, instead of being like a general virtual assistant that does everything from phone calls, bookkeeping, everything. Alright, so try to specialize and be extremely good in something, because that's going to help you charge higher and stay relevant. And the next key thing is translating. I know that there are a lot of jobs that require you to translate or transcribe videos. So if you translate, the general tip is that I found is that it's much more profitable to translate English to your native language if you must. And again, doing a general virtual assistant job or translating jobs they could pay quite well. They could be full-time jobs, and I would say they are okay if you want to do them for the short term, but again, for the long term, you're really not developing a lot of skill sets because you're just translating over and over and over again. Yeah, you're good in the language. If you're good, be a teacher. That pays so much more, and you can climb so much further. The next thing is proofreading. So someone writes their essay or someone writes a research paper, they want to publish it, and they need you to help proofread for them. Yes, again, it's a very viable career, and usually a lot of proofreaders, when they work with corporate clients like schools, universities, they usually charge a retainer fee. So you get a monthly income, which is good, but again, the downside to this is that you're not building a skill set for the long term. So again, I would advise against going into this field, and for the same reason for the other two. And my 15 idea, or in fact I would say a bunch of ideas, because my 15 idea and 16 and 17, they're going to be very similar. Alright, so I'm just going to put 15. Alright, so the first is focus group or survey. So focus group surveys, I've personally done it before. It's a great way to make side quick cash, but there are several problems with this. The first is that it's extremely competitive. So if you've done like focus group before, especially I've done physical focus group, I haven't really done online focus group, but they are also available. The problem with that is that a focus group is usually very, very competitive. So the moment it's published, you're looking at like being snapped up within like an hour or so, maybe even faster. And the reason being is that they actually pay quite well. So they can pay you as high as like $30 an hour. So focus group, you just sit down, they're going to interview you for like 3 hours, you get paid $90. Sometimes if you go for the physical one, they even give you food and water. So that's fantastic. You get free food, free water, and $100 to spend one afternoon chit chatting, right? It's a fantastic job. But the downside to this is that usually they have like cool down period. So if you've done like a focus group in this month, chances are you're not going to be able to do a similar type of focus group for the same company for at least a month, because they're trying to get new faces or new advice or opinions into the focus group. So chances are you're not going to get a lot of opportunity, not to mention that the opportunity that were available in the first place is extremely competitive. Why? Because there's no skills involved, so everyone's going to rush to it. So like, if you're a student, you're going to have a lot of opportunities in school where they give you like focus group discussion or surveys, and they pay you like $10 an hour for you to fill up a survey form within an hour. So there are websites like your Teluna, your Life Points, your Index Points. I think they are legit survey websites. Again, very competitive, very hard to get an opportunity to be able to get jobs. So it's not reliable. It's not going to be a lot of money. I personally don't think it's worthwhile for the future if you want to make money. And then the next idea are those sites that give you quick money for you to watch videos, like your Swag Bucks, your Inbox Dollars, your Pico Workers, like they pay you cents for you to watch a video, to like a video, to do whatever micro tasks that they want you to do. Again, you're not building a skill set. It's not something that is going to give you a long-term career opportunity where you can charge big amount of money, even as an employed person. Last but not least would be your search engine evaluator. I know that you can make like $15 or $20 just reviewing search engine data. So a lot of such videos have been made, but again, there is a big problem. You are simply replaceable. Like, so easy to replace you. And the thing that they do not tell you is that if you're a search engine evaluator, you need to meet the criteria. Like, you need to be a good enough and fast enough evaluator to make that $15, $20 an hour. If you don't hit the threshold, you don't get paid, right? So you could be potentially working for free. And so that's why essentially there are a lot of pitfalls within this field, but I think generally the biggest problem with all of these things is that you're not building skill sets for the long term. You are being very replaceable. So don't do that. I highly recommend against that. So I know it sounds I know it's going to be quite disappointing for some of you guys. You're going to be like, oh man, I thought there was easy money online. The truth is, if you want easy money, it's going to be small money. If you want big money, it's going to be hard. So shape up and you're going to earn big bucks. So now I'm going to be talking about how can you find these opportunities online. Alright, so there are a lot of platforms that are being developed to help people to find opportunities online. Previously, it was word of mouth, building your own portfolio website and marketing it. So now the good thing is that there are a lot of sites that help match the businesses to you. So the three most popular platforms out there are like your Upwork, your freelance.com. Was it freelance? Alright, so now that we've gotten that out of the way, some of you will be asking, Gerald, I'm ready to work on these jobs, these viable business careers, online careers. Alright, so question is, how do I find them? Right, you haven't talked about finding them and how much can I get paid. So again, there are several ways to find clients, but the good thing with the internet is that now there are a lot of big platforms that have been created to help you find opportunities. So again, I'm not advocating that these platforms are the only way to find clients. In fact, chances are if you're able to find clients through other means, you would probably be paid a lot more. If you find them through platforms, expect the platform to take a cut, but they also provide a lot of value-added services. One such value-added service is that you can be sure that your client is reliable because they're going to put the money in like an escrow account, and only or in the event of a dispute, the platform can help you. So that's a good thing about having a platform. You know that the customer is not going to run away. It's a lot more reliable kind of compared to working on your own, and it presents you with opportunities to get started. Of course, if you want to build and earn a lot more money, eventually you're going to learn. You have to learn how you can source for big clients on your own and retain clients and work with them privately if you want to cut out the platform fees. So I would recommend 4 big platforms in order of my preference. I think the first I would highly recommend is Upwork.com. It's probably the most competitive, but it is also the biggest. So again, you want to be a small fish in a big pond where you can eventually grow, or you want to be a big fish in a small pond. That's up to you. So the next site that I recommend is Freelancer. I think it's freelancer.com. The third one would be guru.com, and the last one would be fiverr.com. So if you're a programmer, there are other websites, like specialized websites where you have to do some sort of test, and if you get in there, you can be paid a lot of money because those platforms are very curated group of programmers, and people hunt for top programmers in those fields. So if you're that good, you can explore those, and again, you won't be watching this video, right? So if you're not, then again, I'm just to kind of tell you guys that such opportunities are available if you're in the software development field. I think even for graphic designs, it's probably a field like this, like some sort of top designers market instead of just like a generic freelance website. So that's an opportunity for you guys if you're interested. So again, if you're looking for generic freelance website to start out, I have some tips for you. The truth is, I haven't really done a lot of freelancing work myself, so I can't really advise you too much on how do you do well in this field. But on the other hand, I have employed a lot of people, worked with a lot of people on this platform. I've spent tens of thousands of dollars in this platform, so I kind of know a little bit on how you can stand out. So I'm going to share with you what I found and what I know, and hopefully this helps you find your first opportunity. So again, the first few is going to be really, really hard, but once you find it, especially in fields like creative writing, in writing or online tutoring, if you find them once, they're going to stick with you for a long time. So the lifetime value of getting just one client is a lot. So you just need to persevere, break through, find, Google a lot of tips, and eventually once you land your first client, the rest is going to be really easy. Alright, so let's get started real quick. So the first most important thing is a professionally taken profile photo gets 5 times more views than regular photos. Even Upwork says this. And the next most important thing is attention-grabbing title or your first sentence of the description. Why? Because that is what's going to get the most attention. And if you can write title to say like what's your expertise, like your key portfolio, key skill sets, that's how you differentiate yourself. You specialize and make yourself stand out. And the third tip I have for you is that if you're new, you want to relax your customer targeting because you want to build up that portfolio of reviews. You want to get a lot of 5-star reviews. So you might want to consider working for cheap for at least the first few clients. And very, 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 very important is that in this kind of freelance sites, it's very competitive. So you must apply very fast and apply very carefully. So a good practice that a lot of hirers are being taught is to create some sort of test. So they would, for example, to require you to put like a cover letter. So the cover letter would be like, for me, my company is BG Badminton. I'm gonna have to write in your cover letter, state BG Badminton is fantastic. Or tell me what BG Badminton channel is all about. Let's say if I'm looking for a video editor. Why do employers do such a test? Because what we do not want is people that kind of spam every single job application with a standard template. Because why? These are low quality candidates. We want people, or businesses or individuals want people that are highly vested and they actually think, read and do the work properly. So if you can't even follow a simple instruction which is included in cover letter, chances are you're not going to follow the instructions that is given to you as a job. So that's one of the most common screening tools. So always read the instructions very carefully and apply very fast. It's ironic, but as you practice, you get faster. And why is it very important to apply quickly? Because within, I think, usually when I post jobs, within the first hour or so, I get about 4 or 5 applicants. And it takes a long time for me to review the applicants. I read through, again, their portfolio. So it's very important to build a portfolio to see what they have done, especially for subjective skill sets. I read their description. Do they really apply properly? Do they know what my problem is about? So if they don't, then it sounds like a generic application, I just put them aside. If this person looks skilled, they look like they have done work, they look reliable, they sound reliable, that's when I'm interested to get them. And if you're like the 20th applicant, which is going to be like, well, I don't know, 12 hours in, then chances are I would probably have already hired someone before I kind of went to your profile. So that's why it's very important to apply fast, apply well, and I think one of my pro tip is when like for me, when I'm trying to hire people, I almost always ask questions. Like I always engage with them. Is this doable? Is that doable? I have a problem in this. Are you aware? Why? Because I'm interested, but I'm kind of comparing, like 2-3 candidates that I kind of narrowed down to. I'm not sure which, so I'm just going to talk to them, like ask them, hey, would you do this? Would you do that? So chances are, if you're proactive, you ask questions. You need to do your financial modeling. Do you have a specific purpose? Or what's your target? What's your goal? So always, if you're able to ask them and provide additional business value for the customer, chances are they're gonna pick you. So I think that's all the tips I have for you if you are trying to look for jobs online. Again, I have not done it, so I am not the best person. I think there's this channel called Joshua. He's a full-time freelancer, so he can help you out a lot if you want to get more tips and tricks on how to stand out in freelance sites. Again, if you get a little bit more experience, you have worked with this client for a long time, you can ask them, hey, Upwork takes a commission. Maybe I can do it offline, off Upwork, directly through PayPal. That could save you some money, but be careful, clients might cheat you. So again, you must kind of weigh the pros and cons of this. And if you're starting out, I wish you all the very best in finding your first few clients and making your first $5,000 every month. I spent a lot of time to put this resource together. I think it's probably one of the most comprehensive resource online right now. And if you have any questions, anything you're not sure, leave them down in the comment section below, because I'll try my best to help you. Again, I'm not sure if I can answer every single question. But I hope this can give people perspective that you do not fall scam into easy, quick money. And again, to draw the distinction between jobs, online jobs and online businesses. Again, if you're interested to see like online business ideas, how do you really make it big, like millions of dollars online, you're most likely not looking at jobs, you're looking at businesses. So check out the videos here. And again, I'll see you around. Please subscribe and take care. Bye.